Hello again, welcome to the Green Dragons Gaming Club. Without us, they never feel like winners. Without them, we couldn't look so good. So again, we're Westchester, Pennsylvania. We're southeastern Pennsylvania gaming group. We used to play at stores, now we're playing in basements. We're still a fairly decent sized group, and with some decent following. We play multiple of the games. So if you live in southeastern Pennsylvania, you live in just over the bridge in Jersey, because Commodore Barry is not far from here. If you live in Northeast Maryland, if you live in Delaware, up in Wilmington area, please do me a favor, reach out to me. My name is Sir MC 2015 up on the Ninth Age website. I am also, again, post link, reach out to me here with the YouTube video. We're always looking to keep things going and look for new players. Just as I said, we stopped playing at the stores for a variety of reasons, but we're still a decent size, and we're always looking for like-minded individuals. So feel free to reach out to me. So today we have the Vampire Covenant versus Kingdom of Equitaine. Vampire Covenant today is going to be played by Chris. Chris is a new member of our group, and he's a very, very good player. He's very meticulous with how he maneuvers things. He's doing things that I've never expected to see something do, such as that zombie Congo line, and we have multiple players who play Undead. I've never seen it done before. Even the games I played on Universal Battles, never seen anyone do that to me before. So his tactics are actually very sound. He's got a good list, knows how to use it to the best of their abilities. So it's always a wonderful challenge. And of course, I'm playing with my King of Equitaine. For me, the King of Equitaine is perhaps one of the harder armies to get situated with. It's not a beginner army, because if you don't use it right, it's very unforgiving. But what I found is once you master it, it can be a devastating army. It's a very good, very strong army once you know what you're doing with it. So right here, I'm going to go through spells first, and then I'll go through both of our respective army lists. I usually turn around and was fielding, if you've noticed in the last couple of videos, a level 4 on foot of nature and a level 2. Sometimes the level 2 had the tome, sometimes a Book of Arcane Power. This time I went with 2 level 2s, because I was talking with some of my peers, Chris being one of them, and Chris is like, why don't you just go straight heavens? Take 2 level 2s, straight heavens, can't go wrong. I'm like, well, I like this spell, this spell, this spell. It's like, Mark, trust me, just do this. So after discussing it, giving it a lot of thought, I'm like, how much am I being able to use that spells? And those spells, nature, the toughness spells kept me in games, the regrowth has kept me in games, and so it definitely has potential. It actually does a lot of good things for my army. But I want to try just this flat out Heavens list. So my 1 level 2 on horseback has Curse of the Westerlies and Blizzard. My level 2 on foot, who has the Tome, the other one has the Spell Scroll, has Thunderbolt, Stars Align, and Blizzard. And she also has the Ring of Fire. So this way, she's not meant to be up in combat. If she's up in combat, I'm doing something wrong, which you'll see I do something wrong. But she's not meant to be going in like that. So over here we have his mages, his Vampire Lord. His Vampire Lord is just flat out nasty. He's mean. He's a level 2 mage. He's a blood dragon. He has The Dead Arises and Dance Macabre. He has two level 2 necromancers with Invocation of the Undead. The one on the left has the Curse of the Dead, and the other one has Gaze of Satesh. So here's our board. This time we're playing over at Chris's house, so you can see with the scotch sitting on the table there. Now I'm going to go through his army going from left to right. He's got a pack of 5 wolves. He's got a Varkalak with a 3-up, I forget what the rule's called, Vampiric 3+, where if he does a wound, he gains back a wound if he rolls a 3. A unit of 5 Vampire Knights with a standard. He's got 5, what are those things called now? Spirit Hosts? I think they're called gas now. He has 1 Cadaver Wagon with a Bone Prior in the back. He has 45 skeletons. 45. That means that he can turn around with his 2 necromancers, make that up to a 90-man unit. It's disgusting. Flat out disgusting. And his vampire is in that unit. Then he's got a unit of 20 zombies, and he put both of his necromancers in there because he wants that bubble effect. He wants them both to be able to hit the unit of skeletons. Obvious reasons, because again, the necromancers are the only thing that can raise skeletons past their starting value. Other characters cannot. Another unit, he's got a unit of bats back there, and then another unit of 20 zombies, 2 units of dogs, another unit of vampiric knights with a standard, and back behind that building is that beautiful model from Poland that he's using as another Barkalak. So on my side of the table, going from left to right, you have a unit of 6 Knights of the Realm with standard and champion. You have 10 skirmishing archers, or peasant archers, with my level 2 mage on foot. You have a vanguard, and this is pictures after vanguards, by the way. Vanguarding peasant yeomen, and behind them are my Grau Knights. And you got peasant archers. Then you've got 9 Knights of the Realm with my standard bearer, and my standard bearer has the Sword of Heroes, Hardened Shield, Lucky Charm, and the Flaming Standard. Then you have my general, and my general has 1 second. My list just kicked me out of it. I don't know why. I know a lot of my friends turn around and use Battle Scribe. I still use Army Builder. So Army Builder. So my general has the Crusader's Helm. So he has a 1-up rerollable, and he's immune to lethal strikes. He has the Talisman of Roland, Potion of Swiftness, because I'm always worried about going up against those characters such as a Vampire Lord or something else that has a higher initiative than I do, because I'm designed to kill you. Because he does have the Blessed Sword, so I'm rerolling my wounds. He does have a lance for when he issues a challenge and you throw out that unit champion. But he also has the virtue of the Renown. So the reason I gave him Renown is, let's say I'm going up against Imperial Knights, these Vampire Knights, both of which have 1-up armor saves. With him being able to gain lethal strike on a roll of a 6 and its ordnance, I'm killing those models outright. So for every 6 rolled to wound, and they're dead. If I'm up against a character, lethal strike, there goes your armor save. And now all of a sudden I'm doing ordnance. It's a blessed sword, so you have to re-roll your ward save. It's a very, very nasty combination. And that's what I feel is this game has become, what combinations can you have? It's not just a question of what you can put on your characters, because characters at most are going to get you 4 combat res. It's what can the rest of your what synergy can you develop with your army, such as my opponent here with all those invocations and the raising of the dead, and then you got the cadaver wagon, which gives it lightning reflexes. Again, that is a combination. Now, in that same unit is also my Mounted Damsel, which has my Dispel Scroll and the Obsidian Pebbles, so they have a magic resistance 1. It's cheaper than just buying the normal magic resistance 4, because that's 15 points versus 10 points. Then I have a unit of 20 Peasant Levy. And of course my 2 trebuchets. There's Trusty Betsy and the Rock sitting back there behind the Levy and the Knights. And another unit of 6 Knights of the Realm, and I've made another Lord. I used to have another Paladin, my last list. I'm like, you know what, I can make him nastier. So I made another Duke with the Obsidian Blade. Because again, going up against that high armor, I was hitting him with Strength 6 or Strength, and he's still making his armor saves. And after my charge, if I use Virtue of Might with that lance, I'm losing that nastiness. So I gave him the Obsidian Blade. He still has a lance. He's the Armor of Percival. That means I have a +1 to my ward save, so instead of a 6-5, he's a 5-4. And he's immune to divine attacks. He has a gem of Dragonfire, so 2 up against Flaming. And he has a Divine Icon, so again, divine attacks. And he has a Virtue of Valor. Virtue of Valor means that he has to issue a challenge whenever possible, and you have to accept it whenever possible, which means that for him hiding his necromancers in that Congo line where he has the um, let's see, he has the standard and musician up at the front, and then he has his two necromancers sitting behind them. I can still challenge him out, and he doesn't have the right. He can't decline it. With him not being able to decline it, that's huge because all of a sudden I can go after those well hidden characters, like even Skaven and things like that. Um, it's a very very nasty. So to me, and he gets to reroll his misses and reroll his hits in close combat. It's a nasty combination. He's a character killer. So we started alternating going back and forth when we were doing our placement, and finally I'm like, I have a good idea where he's going. I just laid what I had down, and then we did a dice roll, and I did win the dice roll. So I moved everything up as so, with the exception of the archers hiding behind the hill there. And oh, I also forgot to mention, this is my 2,400 point list. When I moved up to 2,500 points, all the way in the right-hand corner, I took a unit of Knights of Forlorn, which I actually do like Knights of Forlorn, as you've seen from other reports. I do utilize them, and I have another unit of Yeoman. It's just, when we started placing, he put a unit of dogs all the way on that far side, which I didn't mention before because I can't see it with the hill or with the building in the way. And that's why I put those knights over there, because I didn't want those dogs coming down, going around my flank, and trying to get to my war machines. Granted, they're only speed 9, so I have till about turn 3 till they do anything useful. But it's still a worry because my trebuchets mean a lot to my game, to my gameplay, and trying to make sure I keep them safe is always very, very important to me. So, with that said, I move my yeoman all the way up. I chaff up his knights and his spirit host, and his Varkalak, which is off to the side there, is far enough back that I'm not really worried about it. Maybe the yeomen are, but that's it. I put the ground knights just on the lip of the hill so they can just see over the hill to keep my options open, so I can either go after spirit hosts, I can go after his zombies, I can go after his knights. They have a target. I think my trebuchets don't do anything this turn. And magic, I turn around, and after turning around and trying to get off a couple spells, down to like two dice, and he actually had more dice left because he didn't know which spells. I still had Thunderbolt and things like that he was trying to stop. So I turn around and go, okay, Fireball, attribute on him. And he's like, do I care? Do I not care? Do I care? Do I not care? You mean he needs 5s to wound me? Go for it. I did 2 wounds. I was very happy with just 2 wounds, and that does come back in my favor, which you'll see in just a few. So my yeomen turn around, they take out one of the dogs. My peasant skirmishing archers take out another dog, and my other archers took out 3, or that may have been a trebuchet, took out 3 skeletons. So now it's his turn 1. He turns around, he charges into my mounted yeoman. They actually hold on that charge. They're slightly skewed because this picture was taken after combat. And he chaffs up my knights in the middle with a unit of dogs. One thing I forgot to mention during my movement is I took my Duke, that character killer, out and put him between my Knights of the Realm and my peasants. The reason I did that is I saw those 2 necromancers, and the last thing that he expected me to do was just run up with a single character. If I can turn around and do that, get him a challenge, I don't care if he charges me in the flank, I'm killing one of his characters, one of his mages, and magic is so huge to the undead player. Has to be your target number 1. There's secondary targets, like I hate those Varkalaks. They're nasty creatures, but the mages, the characters, they should be your target. Go after that general, start that crumbling process. It's huge. It's devastating. So he chats me up, he charges in with a Varkalak, and that's basically it. Otherwise, he just raises dead things. I think he got about at least over 10 skeletons and over 15 zombies again this turn. And I'm like, okay, nothing I'm going to do. You're going to be getting at least one of those spells off. So there's that combat. He turns around, he gets reheals a wound from that 3+ Bloodlust, and They're peasants. They're meant to die. But he took one for a team. I'm sorry, he got 7 skeletons and 11 zombies. And there's my one remaining. He didn't kill all the yeomen. That one yeoman actually does eventually either go off the field or I failed a dangerous terrain test. But that's it. There's that combat. He kills me. So now it's my turn too. So I turn around. I'm like, what am I going to do here? Because he chaffs up my one big block. In retrospect, had I put that block more to the left, he wouldn't have been able to do what he did. But then again, he just would have done a swift reform and tried chaff me up anyway, or just have that chaff close to his own blocks. As I said, Chris is a very good player, very smart player. So I charge in with just my new Duke, my character-killing Duke. And I charge his Varkalak with my knights, with my ground knights into the Varkalak. And I also charged in with the unit on the left, Knights of the Realm, because I wanted all that hitting power in there. In retrospective, that was a mistake on my part. I should have taken those knights and charged into the dogs just to kill the chaff. Get the chaff out of the way, let the ground knights do their job. They should be able to do that. During the magic phase, I'm going to put Blizzard on the knights behind him because I fully imagine being able to hit his Varkalak, go through his Varkalak, and then be into the knights. That's my hope. Alright, so as I said, turn 2. Oh, going the wrong way. So there's my Blizzard spell, and there are my knights in the combat. What? Something hit them. I hit them with either Thunderbolt or Lightning. Or a Fireball or a Thunderbolt, and did 1 wound to his knights there. Hitting the wrong button. Over here, I moved my yeoman up, and I took out 2 dogs in the shooting phase, and on to combat. I turn around, I kill his Varkalak. His Varkalak fails to wound me. It's not that he failed to wound me, it's just, actually, yeah, he failed to wound me because he's initiative 4. I'm initiative 5, so I killed him before he ever had a chance to hit me, which is what I was hoping for. Because he only had 3 wounds left. That was a total of 13 possible attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, with 1 or 2 rerolls. I took my odds that he would fail his regen save just to let those 3 wounds go through. Over here for that combat. So maybe someone else knows better than I do. Turn around, close combat. I kill 4 of his dogs. And he's like, okay, now you have to slide down. I'm like, what do you mean I have to slide down? Because I was a little further up, so I was touching the back 2 dogs. I'm like, why? We're not done the combat yet. We still have combat res, and then I slide to me. He's like, no, you slide to me now, so I can attack you. I'm like, makes sense. So I wasn't even going to bother looking it up, and Chris does actually know the rules better than I do. So I just slid him down, but if anyone knows if that's correct or not, please let me know. But again, that's the way we played, and I fully trust Chris. He does nothing to my Duke, and that's going to blow up. And he overrun, and he hits the skeleton unit. To me, this is huge. It's not what I wanted. I didn't want him to hit the skeleton. I wanted him to act more as chaff. For him to decide, okay, I'm going to throw my zombies up. Because I actually can choose to flee, but if he threw zombies into that one character hoping to break me with combat res and stuff like that, it's like, hey, look, I'm challenging you out. But I'm in that combat. So turn 2, he moves up, he chaffs up my knights on the left, he moves up his gas, he moves his knights over, he has his cadaver wagon sitting next to his unit of skeletons there to give them give them lightning reflexes. He chaffs me up again with that second unit of dogs. And his knights turn around and charge my peasants there in the middle of the field. And he moves his dogs and his Varkalak out. I'm going, oh my god. The chaff. I have got to do a better game with the chaff game. So close combat is... over here, I have to issue a challenge. So he's like, do I take it with my lord? Do I take it with my... Because he's got a very, very killy lord. Or do I take it with my unit champ? And he's like, well, you've got that lance right now. But you also have that obsidian blade, so my armor's not going to count for anything. You know what? I'll throw you my champ because I've got combat res on my side. I'll just throw you my champ. I kill. I do 3 wounds. I lose combat by 1, and I have leadership. I did forget to mention this earlier. I have the leadership standard in my Knights of the Realm. I made sure that I was within 12. Okay, or actually, I didn't make sure this turn, but I was just within 12 of my general and my BSB. So now I've got a 9-up rerollable. I I was happy with that. So I end up sticking in that combat. Over here, Blizzard helps me out. Again, I don't lose a single ground knight to this combat at all. Kill majority of his units, so he's going to end up popping due to combat res. And as I said, Blizzard was huge as far as I was concerned. And then that's that. Over here, this combat. This is going to be an ugly combat. He kills 10 of my peasants with only 4 guys. Oich. 10 peasants right off the bat. He rolled well because he needed force to hit me. And then his horses. However, I have 1 more additional rank than he does. I am steadfast. Over here, so now it goes turn 3 to me. I charged in his dogs. I charged in those other dogs that were chaffing me up. I got tired of them. And I charged his cadaver wagon with my ground knights. So if you look and you see that 1 ground knight off the side and you've listened to any of my other reports, Terrain and I, we don't get along. I will fail my dangerous terrain test 9 times out of 10. It's a 17% chance and I lose 1. That's all I can say is I lose a knight to terrain. I chaff up those other knights because I expect them to be able to blow up my my knights, my peasants there. And he turns around and he moves that 1 guy that wasn't in combat behind his unit so that he can. Let me see. So that why does he do that? So he can get the extra attack from that knight. But I'm not sure that was necessary because that turnaround and that means that he's no longer steadfast where I am. I charge my my character bus there into the dogs, and that's it. Otherwise, I'm still going into that combat, and now that it's my turn, I've already killed his unit champion. He has to accept with his general. So there's that dead knight from the dangerous terrain test. Over here, I had moved my yeoman up, and again, it's behind a building, so that's why I'm not saying it. I can't see it from these pictures. And they kill all 3 dogs from shooting at them. And that's it. So over here in this combat, oh, that's a trebuchet shot. I actually aimed for the zombies, and it drifted over, and it killed 9 skeletons. I'm like, all right, good job. Those newly risens are dead once again. I blow up, so now we're into close combat. I blow up that cadaver wagon with ease and overrun into the skeletons once more. If you notice, I'm missing another knight. I can't win. They dangerous terrain test for charging through the water, and I lose another knight to a DT. Over here, I blow up the dogs with ease. And now it's his turn 3. So he charges in with his Varkalak into my peasants there. And he's able to get up dead rises to form a Kongu line to chaff up my night bus once again. I'm just like, but no matter what, I'm getting chaffed up. But because I'm doing so many small multiple units on the field, it's not as bad because I'm able to turn around and get, and all my points aren't just sunk into one unit there. And let's see. He turned around and he was able, it was a long charge. I told you I made a mistake with my mage earlier. It was a long charge for those bat swarms. He rolled a 10. He gets into my mage. And then, although I do want to look up overrun rules. If you kill my unit off the starting line, actually she did break, so Pursuit would have done that way because she didn't. No, he killed her outright. So overrun, he should just move straight, not gone through. So that was one thing I need to look up in terms of the rules. Over here, sorry, that's my air conditioning unit going, and I'm in my basement. He charged his gas into my peasant archers there. I expect them to die with ease. And that's it. That's everything so far. So, again, there's that lovely conga line. And he turns around, even with the charging Varkalak, he only manages to kill 4 of my peasants. So I still have a rank, so I'm still steadfast, I'm still within range of my general and my BSB, so leadership 10, rerollable. Here he kills my mage. Pretty sure he killed her, not run away, but killed her. So I'll look into that. Killed all but 3 of my my peasant archers. And do I have a... Okay, there's a picture of those 4 dead. And again, I rolled a 9, which is what I needed, even with him causing fear. And now it's turn 4. I want to go back just a few pictures here. All right, here you can see it. So top left hand of the screen, you see that combat? His general and my general, or my duke, wail on each other. He does 2 wounds to me. He pops his potion of strength. It's like, that's it. I need to kill this character because it has really the potential to hurt my lord. So I do 2 wounds to him. He does 2 wounds to me. Okay, that's even with him popping that potion of strength, because now I have a 4-up. Even though he has a blessed sword, I'm immune to divine attacks. And he's just going, oh god, I don't. It's like that, losing the unit champ that first round, and then getting stuck here. He didn't have anything else to feed me. Ground Knights are in the side. Ground Knights underperformed. I did 3 wounds, but they're doing their job. They gave me a flank with a big flank, so now all of a sudden I'm now winning those combats. So I no longer really have to test there. Over here, turns around, he kills. This is we're trying to look this up. So he overruns, and this is his turn, by the way. This is let me go back. It was his turn. I'll stop doing that. His turn 5 now. The way the rule reads is that you ignore obstacles when moving. So does that mean you ignore another unit? Because otherwise, he couldn't clear his Varkalak to get in the way he wanted to, but you pivot on the spot and then move that whole line, so that would put him going straight through his Varkalak, and he restrained with the Varkalak. It's a good question for the rules team. So they hit and then close the wheel, and now he's going against that unit of knights. That peasant gets eaten by the vampires. And I'm sorry, now it's his turn 4, or my turn 4, I should say. I said turn 5 before. Turn 4. So I put up the Curse of the Westerlies over on that unit, and again the Ground Knights are in. My knights are all engaged, so I have nothing really to do. I move up my yeomen. I move up my my Knights of Forlorn, which are not doing anything really, and I just keep the 2 Trebs in the back. So the Trebs actually, they were doing their job. So over here, I get a direct hit. I know, I don't know why that's face up. One had a misfire, and one actually did a direct hit on him. Turn around, hit his Varkalak, do 3 wounds. He fails his regen save. I do 3 wounds to that Varkalak. Have potential to kill him outright, but I'm happy with 3 wounds. And that's what he says. Like, you just decrease that thing's potential right there. And the other one, there's that misfire, which is why I took a picture of the first one. Rocky was on target. Betsy got loose and killed one of her crew members. Over here, I had charged in with my Duke because he has that blessed sword, and on 6s, so he's rerolling the hit, and on 6s he's ordnance, lethal strike. I was hoping to save my knights. I was hoping to kill 1 to 2. Decrease his output against the knights. That was a mistake, a big mistake on my part. It actually costs, so he kills all 6 of my knights. Then my Duke, who didn't take a single wound, runs away, gets caught, and killed. So now it's his turn 4. He does Fireball at my mounted yeoman there. And I'm just going to go back to that picture. He actually, because I forgot to take a picture of the overall movement after movement phase, he charges into my Duke that was going up against his Lord. I actually did kill his Lord this turn too. I forgot to take that picture. I apologize. I have to do better jobs with these pictures. So he does Fireball, kills them, and he does the regrow spell. So again, he gets his unit champ back because you always start with command there, and some more skeletons. And meanwhile, Grail Knights are still on the side. So now it's turn 5. So now let's go ahead and here's my picture of the board. So as I said, the Varkalak went charging, and I apologize once again for missing a couple picks here. So his Varkalak charged into the Duke in close combat, but he has to issue a challenge, and he has to accept. So even though there was his character, this Killy Varkalak, which he was hoping would be able to kill my Duke, he can't even touch him because he's in a challenge with the unit champion. I win combat res, and Varkalak only had 1 wound left. Varkalak pops. Over here, his overrun put it real close to my Night Bus, and again, I lost my general there, which definitely did hurt. And that's it. I moved up again. My Forlorns really aren't doing much of anything this game. And that's it. There's nothing. I really don't have much else. My Knights turn around. The bats blew up because after I killed his general to 1 wound, and then I finished him off during the combat phase. And I do a reform here with my Knights. Actually, I know I do a reform at some point. I don't know why that's I'm missing that picture. So I get off. You know what? I did not do that. I charged in. I charged that 1 remaining guy. So I'm actually in combat with that remaining Congo line model. So this is during the Magic phase. And I get off Blizzard and Curse of the Westerlies onto his Knights there. So now it's his turn 5. And I do a combat reform. After I kill that 1 lone zombie from that Congo line that was in front of my Knights, I do a reform. I'm too big with my center of the unit to face the way I wanted to put him in my front. So I turn around and I lose that extra rank and expand my frontage. Put my BSB on the one side, so his magical weapon, in case he wants to get in there with his whatever they're called, the gas. And because my mage is beloved, she goes to the back. You know, I'm not going to do anything with that mage. She goes to the back there. She's my 1 remaining character. He pops out his 2 characters so that they can get out of line of sight from my Duke and the Grail Knights, even though they're in line of sight of the Knights of the Realm and the Knights of Forlorn. It's a really, really far charge in order to reach them. And I rally my 3 skirmishers. So, and he turned around and he charged into the 10 bowmen, and that I used to try to chaff up with, so he couldn't get as clean of a charge on the flank, but he was going to get it no matter what. And that's it. That's how game looks, board looks now. So on his charge in, again, I have those negative buffs to him. I have -1 to hit, reroll your misses. He only kills 2 of my Knights, and I killed 1 of his. Okay, so now it's turn 6, and actually that picture's out of order. He kills only 2 peasants. I don't know why I lost my mage. I think I rolled a miscast. I turn around and get off Curse of the Westerlies on him, but I roll a miscast, and she had already done a wound to herself earlier with another miscast, so that just does her in. So I lose my mage, and I lose 1 knight, which wasn't horrible because it was a small template blast. So I lucked out there. And the overall results, because he ends up killing those archers there, but his knights are going to be locked in combat, um, and yeah, that's basically. I mean, we weren't even rolling for all the combats anymore because the unit of zombies. In retrospect, I probably should have been doing that because I could have gotten some more points that way. Um, but I chose not to because we were trying to speed things along. So it was already about 4 o'clock in the morning when this was going on. So the overall results was a victory for King of Equitaine. It would have been a 14-6, but he got the objective. He moved to a unit of zombies with a standard on top of the objective to claim it. So made that 11-9. Still a victory. Still a hard-fought victory. I was very, very happy with how my units performed. Couple of key errors that I did, such as losing my general. If I didn't lose my general, it actually would have been a 17-3, so 14-6. Had I not made that glaring error. And there were a couple of other things I did, but overall, great game, great competitor I played against. Couldn't be happier. We have the King of Equitaine MVPs, Duke Harlan. I mean, he turned around and, because of his ability to challenges, killed the Varkalak. Because of his ability with the challenge, I killed his combat lord, and he killed the dogs. I mean, that's it. It was a very close call for trebuchets because I ended up killing his general once again with my trebuchets. So after because he had his two characters, but again I didn't take a picture because 4 o'clock in the morning. We're getting a little punchy, but it was such a good game for me. My opponent's MVPs, his Vampire Knights, killed my general, killed the infantry, killed a unit of 6 Knights in a realm, and had my other unit sitting back there. And because of the magic I had to get to go off on him, I lost my mage. Kept me alive through turn 6. Overall, very happy. But it was just a great game. It was a bloodbath, and look forward to playing him again. So hopefully you enjoyed the battle report. Sorry for going back and forth with some of these pictures, and sorry for missing some of these pictures. But hopefully you've seen some of the tactics I was able to go through, and I will talk to you next time.